I got this one. Go help untie the horses. They look like expensive breeds. Yeah, I'll let you know if there's any drink around. Pain in the ass. Like I'm sharing if I do find some. Well now, what have we here? A poor, sniveling whelp, all alone in a fancy carriage. Well, not so alone anymore. I'll keep you company. Sit down. It's a little rude to run off after inviting a guest in, don't you think? Oh, you most certainly did, boy. A small convoy of fancy carriages with even fancier horses going through our territory without paying the toll is just begging to be taken, don't you think? You know, you look nervous. Real nervous. Is it the scars? No? The blades? Or is it the blood? My apologies, there were some unsavory fellows outside who didn't surrender when they had the chance. Although, I admit, in the excitement, I might have forgotten to offer it. No, that's not it. Tell you what, show me your hands. You heard me. Hands. Now. Good boy. Huh. You aren't a soldier. Or a laborer. You've got no calluses. Just nice, soft hands. What is a boy like that doing with a transport of guards? Who are you? Not saying, huh? Alright. If you don't want to dance to that tune, I got others. I prefer doing it the hard way anyway. Oh, where was all this energy when I came through the door? You could have gotten the drop on me if you weren't busy pissing your pants. You ain't gonna do shit when you're pinned against the wall like that. It's not like you can overpower me anyway. But by all means, feel free to keep trying. I love a little struggle. Settling down already? That's a shame. I was hoping you had a little bit more fight in you. Well, let's have a look at you. Nice clothes, some jewelry, big eyes full of fear. And what are you hiding here? Oh, now isn't this interesting? A noble crest. Does that make you a royal, little boy? Oh, you poor thing, getting all mixed up in this. It really must be hard not to be able to hide behind your money and prestige. Isn't it weird that it just took a little bloodshed to strip away that lofty, pompous attitude? But you know, I think I kind of prefer it this way. No walls between us anymore. Finally on even ground, both one and the same. Oh, but we are alike. There's always been a bit of a similarity to your kind and mine. If you think about it, I'm kind of like a lawman, or maybe even a politician myself. Except I prefer to swing a sword when I steal, while you, on the other hand, take the less honest way and just take whatever you want with the stroke of a pen. You don't look convinced. Maybe the reason you don't approve of this is because I'm not wearing your crest while doing this to somebody else. Oh, I don't doubt that your father will most definitely hear about this. Isn't it too bad he isn't quick enough to save you? At least not for a while. See, there's a good bit of coin in ransom, but banking on the hope that Mommy and Daddy really, really love you, well, that's a risk. You're what, fourth in line to secede? I'm not convinced he'd trade a heel of bread for you. A lot easier just to cut you loose and be done with it. Oh, I'm wrong, huh? Are you sure about that? I mean, let's look at the facts. He did send you all the way out here, outside of the territory, with just a handful of poorly trained guards in this gaudy-ass carriage. Couldn't have been a more inviting mark. Any slightly competent crew could have taken that down with just a little bit of effort. Now, I don't know about you, but that just sounds a little too convenient to me. So, no, I doubt anyone would be too forthcoming with anything that would be worth letting you go. Hell, I mean, taking his fourth son is a lot like taking his dog hostage. Well, I'm sorry to say, boy, but they played you like a violin. Now, it's time to cut your strings. Although, on the other hand, this doesn't need to be the end. You should consider yourself lucky it was me who found you. See, this gang is a bit of a mixed bag of misfits and crazies, but one thing we can all come together on is hating the Blue Bloods. Now, I mean, those guys, who knows how they'll treat you personally? I don't think they're as friendly and respectful as I am. I'd bet they'd want to brutalize you a bit. Take some rage out. Aw, don't start tearing up. I did say you were lucky it was me who found you, right? While I usually share their opinion on the matter, I was actually thinking of something else to do with you. See, it might be true that your daddy sent you out here to die like a pitiful mutt, it being more than likely in my humble opinion, but it just so happens that from a young age, I've always wanted a dog. Now you see, that was an interesting look. Did that excite you a bit? You like the idea of being my little royal bitch? It wouldn't be a bad trade. You'd get to live mostly comfortable, and I get a fun new pet to play with. Of course, you could always just take matters into your own hands and try to escape. Now would be the time to. Though, I seriously doubt you will get very far. We got the area pretty well secured by now. So, what do you think? It might not be much of a choice, but it is a choice. What'll it be? You're hesitating. How about we put a timer on this? Oh no, they saw you. Ooh, they look pissed. Better make your choice soon. I can claim you, or you can run. Choose now. Who knows how much time you have? Oh, you froze up. Guess it's dealer's choice then. Look at me, boy. You belong to me now. Whatever you were before doesn't matter at all. Now you are mine, and we are gonna have a hell of a time together. Puppy playtime. Aw, ain't this a sad little sight? You having fun sitting in the dark all alone, boy? Or were you waiting up for me? That's adorable. I know you look forward to my little visits. You really come alive when I step through the door. Just the click of the lock is enough to get you scrambling to the wall. Of course, that might be because you think you're getting an evening visitor. Someone who's coming to do some unspeakable things to you in the dead of night. Which, from what I've been hearing, is a lot more common a topic than you'd think. Oh, yes indeed. The camp is all abuzz with the latest haul. Plenty of treasure, goods, wine, and horses. But you know, the only thing that people seem to be able to talk about is the only thing that I claimed out of all of that. Suppose it wouldn't be a bandit gang if they didn't covet what they didn't have. I wouldn't worry about it though. The boss stepped in before things got out of hand, and you ended up with these. Nice and sturdy bars to keep the riffraff out. Hey, kinda like how it was for you back home if you think about it. If you close your eyes and just ignore the mildew and rust, it's just like being back at your fancy house, huh? The only thing that's different here is you're not looking down on the rest of us, just at a dank brick wall. And thank God the bars are there. The stuff I've overheard. It curdles the blood. But, lucky for you, the boss is the only one who has the keys to this door. No one but him can get to you. And believe me, no one is more pissed about that than me. Oh, if these bars weren't in my way, I would have had so much fun with you already. When I think about all the good quality bonding time that was wasted because of that. You know, after I brought you back, me and the boss, we had a long talk. See, he wasn't very pleased that I didn't plan on ransoming you. Oh, no. He kept talking about how much we could make off of you. How if your daddy didn't want to cough up some coin, then the slave drivers would pay hand over fist for royal stock. He said, Elijah, you and I both know that selling him off is better than just wasting our stock of food on feeding that scrawny little whelp. And you know what? He was right. He's a smart guy, you know, went to college. It does indeed take a lot to run this camp, and things have to be tailored to a very specific amount of men. Can't be wasting money on things that go bad before we get to use them, and everybody needs a share after all. So, as much as it pains me, and as much fun as you are, you can't earn anything for us, so it makes sense to just sail you down the river. Don't go tearing up, boy. This isn't easy for me either. Shit. Getting misty-eyed. Fuck. I need a hanky. Hold up. Oh, what's this? Oh, do you know what these are, boy? This is the boss's key ring. Now, when did I pick this up? Maybe he took mine by mistake. Oh, wait. No. I remember. I fished it off of him after I bled him like the swine he was. He was a smart guy, no doubt, but his fatal flaw was that he loved money too much. Love for money makes it so you can be bargained with. Call me old-fashioned, but bandits should just take whatever they want. No point in trying to reason with unreasonable men. But now he's gone. Guess that makes me the boss. And what was it that the boss could get to? That one thing no one else could. Aw, what's with that face? This is a good thing, boy. Now we can make up for lost time. As soon as I find the right key, we can get started with our long overdue little play date. Hey, what do you figure the odds are I get the right one on my first try? Oh, that's not it. So, I'm thinking we should celebrate the occasion. I did just get a big promotion after all, so why not just throw a little party? Just me and you. But what to do? Maybe we could play with some fire. That's always fun. Wrong again. You don't seem like you like that idea. How about some knives? I can demonstrate how to cut meat from bone without dulling your blade. Oh, maybe I can even show you the trick I used on the boss. Damn, 2 left. One of them's gotta be it. You know, you're not leaving me with much of an option here, so... fuck it. Why don't we just do all the above? Think I'll just put you in a chair and have a nice little spread of all of my favorite things for us to enjoy all night long. Aha, that's the one. I should remember that. This has got me feeling all nostalgic. Feels like our first meeting all over again. No more walls, baby boy. Just you, me, and a delightfully intimate evening ahead of us. So, are you ready? Well, don't just cower on the ground. Get a move on. The food's gonna get cold. Yeah, the food. It's just outside. Come on. You can hold my hand if you wanna. Alright. Well, at least let me get the door for you. That's a cute yelp. What? Has His Highness never gotten his ass slapped before? Oh, I can't promise I won't do it again. If only there was some way to occupy my hand. Good idea. Why didn't I think of that? Just this way. I had the boys set up a nice private dinner. Candles, good steak, and 1 chair. Huh. Well, that's almost everything I wanted. Wonder how we'll solve this little seating arrangement. Oh, I know. Come sit on my lap, boy. Oh, I'm serious as a heart attack. Come on. Best seat in the house. That's it. Get nice and cozy. So, where shall we start then? What looks good? A little appetizer, some wine, or shall we just cut to the meat? I know what I want to have, but how about you? Some wine. Good choice. Let's loosen up a bit. Alright, there you go. Wait. I can't believe this slipped my mind. I got you a gift. No, really. I noticed how sad you were when we took that necklace with your family crest away. So, I pulled some strings and got you this. Ain't it beautiful? Finely tooled leather and a nice shiny buckle complete with a little bell. Every dog should have a nice collar, don't you think? Oh, no need to be modest, boy. I'm sure you'd look just ravishing in it. Here, I'll help you put it on. Oh, easy now. You nearly spilled your wine. I'd hate to have the evening ruined by making a mess. Let's save that for later, Now hold still. And there. You know, my fashion sense is questionable, but when I get it right, I get it damn right. You are more beautiful now than you've ever been, darling. How's it fit? Tight? Oh, good. I always make sure the flesh bulges a bit around the top and bottom. See, if you do it that way, you never get used to the feeling of wearing it. The collar will dig in whenever you turn your head too fast or swallow. Serves as a reminder of who you belong to. It's like constantly having my hand around your pretty little throat. It's a thoughtful gift. What do you say? Of course, boy. Only the best for you. Now, let's get you that drink. Might be a bit hard to swallow now, but do try not to choke. Ah, hell. Look what you gone and did, boy. After I just told you not to. That just won't do. Guess I'll have to punish you a bit. You know, I heard when dogs make a mess, you're supposed to stick their noses in it. But you also did disobey me. So how about we add some spankings on top of that? Hey. What'd I say about reasoning with unreasonable men? I am a fan of choice, however, so I'll let you pick. Right hand or left. Oh, sorry. Was that my left or yours? Guess it don't matter now. Is this all it takes to make you cry? Are you sure you're a man? Look at me. Hey, you gonna make another mess, boy? No, what, boy? There should be a sir in there somewhere. Good. Now pull yourself together. Still got an evening to enjoy, and the night is very young. Well, right where I left you. sweet. Look how peaceful that rest is. All wrapped up and just sleeping so soundly, without a care in the world. And it looks like that sleeping face isn't as dignified as the normal one. Guess the social mask has to fall every now and again to show the real one. Well, let's see if we can't spur this workhorse into a trot with the carrot instead of the stick. Wakey, wakey, little royal. It's time for you to rise and shine. Come on, boy. Open those bright little eyes and wake up. Nothing, huh? Now what is it that's got you so tired? All you do is sit in a cell all day. And I don't think that our little chats and pleasant evening dinners are strenuous enough to cause this. Wonder what you've been getting into when I'm not around. Well, anyway, looks like diplomacy failed as usual. Screw it, I tried. Now let's see how my preferred method will work. Hey, good morning, sleeping beauty. Time to get up. Whoa now, what's with the attitude? I personally came all the way down to your cell, nice and early to rouse you. So instead of being a moody little brat, be grateful. Knock. I do love a bit of a joke early in the morning. Why would I possibly knock on the door of the cell that I own? It's not like this is a private room either, because this is your room. You are one of my crew, and you're definitely not a guest either. So the only other things we have around here that you could possibly be is a pet or livestock. Do you know the difference between the two? A pet is something, usually an animal, but a bit different in your case, that you keep around for enjoyment and companionship. You have it learned little tricks, and it does its best to amuse you by bringing a delightful new factor into your life. Livestock is something that exists to feed you. From cradle to grave, you take a bit here and take a bit there, until eventually there is nothing left but bleached bones to discard in the mud and move on to the next one. So, I didn't knock on the door for the very same reason I don't knock when I go to the stables to saddle a horse. Because pets and livestock don't need privacy. The real question you should be asking is which one you want to be. Don't answer just yet. It'll become apparent soon enough. But I didn't come here to discuss that with you. Get dressed. You and I have a little bit of work to do before the sun is up. That's right. Some work. You know what that is, right? I know you must be bored being cooped up in here all day, and I'm tired of keeping you where you can't really do anything. So today, you're helping out and pulling some weight in the camp. Now, you can worry about what you're doing after you get changed. I brought you some clothes that should fit well enough. Don't want you soiling your fancy garb, now do we? Hurry up and put these on. We should be moving soon. Well, what are you standing there for, huh? I said to hurry. Now, remember what I just said about pets and privacy. Besides, you've probably changed in front of servants before, so there's no real sense in being bashful. Only thing that's different is it'll just be you and me in a closed-off cell with no one else around. But I promise, I'll keep my hooting and hollering to a minimum. So go on and strip. You know, getting out every now and again like this might be good for you. Help you build some muscle on that body. Not to say that it isn't nice to look at and all, but a little definition never hurt anybody. In fact, that might have making you pretty irresistible. I might have to stop playing nice with you if that were the case. Oh, come on. You have to have been wondering why I haven't made a move on you yet. It's a pretty simple answer, though. I'm a man of many talents, but one thing I've never been able to get a proper hold on is my impulsive need to take things as soon as I see them. Delayed gratification, I think is called. So, in order to work on that bothersome point and grow as a person, I've been testing myself to see how long I can keep holding back from doing what I want to do. And in this case, what I want to do is to shove your face in a pillow, sink my teeth into you, and take us to that blurry line where pain and pleasure are one and the same, until we find out which one you prefer. I think you already know what it could be. But we're meant to be putting clothes on, not taking them off. Plenty of time for that later. For now, we should be focused on getting to work. You about done now? Well, damn. Don't you make common clothes look good. Like the prettiest farmhand I've ever seen. Well, now that we're dressed for the occasion, let's get to it. Come along now. Smell that air. The smoke off the campfires mixes so well with the smell of stale beer and animals, don't you think? Don't worry, we won't be here for much longer. It seems like some of the boys saw some wild boar running around, and I don't know about you, but I've been craving fresh pork for a while now. And I've been more than patient about getting it. So I figured you and I could look into this new development and have a nice, pleasant walk into the forest that'll hopefully turn into an exciting hunting trip. Oh, what's that look? A little pig hunt never killed anyone, if you don't count all the people it's killed. Isn't like we'll be going after them barehanded either. A stout bow and some knives more than evens the odds. So the way I see it, we're fair and balanced. And if it does go poorly, all I have to do is outrun you. I'm joking, of course. Mostly. No time to be shaking your boots, though. Get the lid out of that fine little ass, and take the bow. I haven't had blood on my hands in a while, and I'm feeling a bit anxious. Fingers crossed I get to relieve that on some pigs, huh? I think I stopped hearing and smelling the camp. Finally. This is better, isn't it? Nothing quite like the great outdoors. Green, leafy trees and life all about. It's as real as it gets. A simple misstep here could spell doom. And the only things you have on your side out here is strength and wit to help you through. But do you know what my favorite part of being out here is? This far out in the woods, shrouded by the canopy, there's no one else around for miles. No prying eyes to watch anything that might happen. I'd wager we were deep enough that no one would hear anything either. Not a peep would escape this place. Come to think of it, I wonder if anyone would even notice some screaming going on out here. I guess now is the time I should come clean about some stuff here. There never were any boars to hunt. Sorry, but I made that little lie up and told it to you and the boys, so there would be a reason for me to drag you all the way out here, away from camp and anyone who could interfere with what I have planned. Oh, come on. We know each other a bit by now. Do you really think I'd bother walking all the way out here to do something like that, when I could just as easily do it in the comfort of the camp? And on top of that, it would be a massive oversight to let you carry the bow, wouldn't it? When you think about it, that's just sloppy work. And it's not like I'm an amateur when it comes to more violent persuasions. So before we dive headlong into a fight, why not have one more of our little chats? You've got the drop on me, so why not humor me for a bit? Anytime you feel like ending the conversation, you can just loose an arrow and run off into the wilderness. But that does beg the question, where would you even go? I mean, sure, the obvious answer is back to your home. Make the long and treacherous journey back to your daddy's lofty keep, and continue to be the fourth in line to a family that have already tried to make you disappear once, throwing the black sheep to the wolves and leaving it for dead, because that was the cleanest option they had. Lots of plausible deniability in it. Oh, we didn't do anything. It was all those miserable highwaymen's fault. Let's increase patrols and crack down on dissenters so this never happens again. See how that works. Never let a tragedy go to waste, right? Everybody would be too busy mourning with the grieving family that they wouldn't question all the inconsistencies about it all. Why did they advertise how many escorts you had, or what the route you were more likely to take would be? I wonder what they'll try next. Poison, a slip off the roof, Maybe just a good old-fashioned assassination. And even if you don't go back and end up settling in a little town, it's not liable to stop. People know your face, and word is bound to get back to them eventually. And before you know it, you'll be waking up inside a burning farmhouse. So going back to a previous example, you were a pet to your family, but now you're livestock, and you've just used up your last bit, and there's no coming back from that. Oh, it's not a question of what I want. You already know the kinds of things that I want. It's what you want. Right now, in this ratty little bandit camp, you're a pet, but with a little helping hand, you can be so much more. I've been leader for 2 weeks now, ever since I spilled that swine's gut ropes all over the floor. The camp and the gang have been under my exclusive control to do with as I see fit. And things have never been better. My way of doing things have made us piles of coin and goods. Amazing what a simple change in leadership can do. And I gotta be honest with you, I fucking hate it. Lording over this gang, managing food stores and stuff is a ton of work. And all this extra leadership shit is effort that I can spend better doing what I'm more suited for. Wreaking carnage and mayhem all across the land. So here we are, 2 people with 2 different problems. You, the cast-aside royal black sheep, who is only safe as a pet until your family learns that you aren't 6 feet under. And I, the bored bandit, who craves to satisfy a desire to sow the seeds of chaos. But the way that I see it, the 2 of us have a shared solution. Think about this. You can't really have a life outside this camp until the little spat with your family is resolved. And I'm getting tired of the same old, same old. So I think we can both have what we want. So the deal is this. I'll make it so that you are freed from your cell and the camp. Then we'll make the journey back to your home together. All the while, you tell me everything you know about your family. Where they like to go, any habits or vices, secrets no one else knows. Once we arrive, and you are warmly received by your oh-so-loving family, then we can start delicately raising you on the social ladder, 1 rung at a time, until you're the only one left standing in the end. Imagine it. All the prestige, all the power and money and influence your family has at your control. And all you really have to do is follow my lead while I do all the wet work. What's in it for me, besides the thrill I would get from toppling some lofty nobles with you installed in a position of power, many, many doors would swing wide open to me. Opportunities I could never have on my own becoming so very attainable. So yes, in a way, you'd be my puppet, but I would be your vessel towards everything that should be yours. Not convinced yet? Don't you ever feel tired of your lot in life? Of always being the victim? Well, here's a chance at something more. To be something more. You just have to be willing to take it all. It's a lot to think about, so don't answer right now. Delayed gratification and all that. I'll hear your answer after a couple of days, even though I already know what it'll be, because after all, you didn't shoot. Well, let's go give the boys the bad news. No pork dinner tonight, but I have a feeling a new hunt will be happening sometime soon, and I can't wait to feast. Honey, I'm home, and I brought the bacon. Well, what are you standing there for? Come take this thing and set it on the table. I ain't gonna hold on to it all night. Thank you. I must apologize about being a little late for our dinner tonight, boy. You might get out a little more for some work, but I know you're still probably missing me something awful. And if I'm being honest, I could hardly wait for the workday to end myself. You would not believe the day I've had. There was just one thing after another that needed my immediate attention in the camp. I tell you, being the boss has its perks and all, but the extra hoops to jump through out there all the time makes for a endless slog through the day. But hey, that time's over with, and gone not to be seen again until the rising sun. For right now, I can relax, kick off my boots, and have a pleasant evening with my favorite little royal. And here we are at last, home sweet home. Well, as homey as a stuffy cell in the middle of an active bandit camp can be. Although, if you ask me, the bare stone floors and iron bars bring a sort of rustic style to the whole place. A nice rug and some new sheets could really bring this place together, like a cozy little cottage. I could see you being in worse accommodations. After all, seems like more than a few people are sizing you up for a hole in the ground. At least this way, you get to stay, 5 foot something above it? I ain't screwing around with you. At least not yet. Besides, I ain't that much taller than you anyway. I just enjoy the indignant little pouting face you put on whenever that gets pointed out. You know, it really does warm whatever's left of that black little lump of coal I call a heart to see you waiting for me. I could get used to how good it feels to have someone come greet you after a long day. It's pleasantly domestic. Surprising, considering the circumstances. And besides that, I can definitely see myself start to crave coming home to a pretty little thing with big doe eyes and a nice ass might motivate me to come over just a little bit faster after work. Ah, come on. You've seen what I'm working with in the camp. Not exactly cream of the crop as far as looks are concerned, and definitely not in the brains department. Can't fault a guy for wanting the finer things in life. And seeing as how you speak fine, act fine, and look fine, can you really blame me? I mean, look, you're even wearing your collar too. I do like how it fits on you. And you know that too. Ain't you just a little charmer? Maybe sometime you can greet me with just the collar on. What a treat that would be. Ah, speaking of treats, I prepared a little something special for dinner tonight. Liven things up a bit. Good question, but I don't want to spoil the surprise just yet. How about we sit and get comfortable first, then we can dig in. Feels good to finally take a seat. Stretch my legs a bit. I can finally work on unwinding after all the stresses of the day. Now, what are you doing all the way at the other end of the table? There's no need to be so shy, not like we're strangers at this point. So why don't you go ahead and come closer? Closer. Come sit right next to me. That's still no good. You know what? Forget the chair. Let's just go ahead and do this. Don't squirm. That's more like it. This way, I can keep you as close as can be. Just like old times, You remember, we had a nice steak dinner and some wine as we got familiar. I gave you that little gift around your throat, and you were so happy that you cried. Or was that when I spanked you for making a mess on my table? It was fun either way. My personal favorite bit was how you kept shifting, trying to find a comfortable spot in my lap afterwards. Just like that. Have I got you thinking about it now? That shine in your eye is an interesting look. Could it not have been as bad as you made it out to be? Maybe next time, I'll do it to make you a mess. Well, I'd say that makes us plenty comfortable, wouldn't you? Let's move on to dinner then. Aw, don't look so disappointed. Makes me think you were wanting something to happen. Don't worry about it. Let's eat first. Here, let me do the big reveal. And there we have it. Looks good, doesn't it? This stuff is kind of rare, so it's a little bit of a hassle to get, but it's always worth it in the end. I'm feeling generous tonight, so I'll go ahead and let you have the first taste. Go on, get you a big old piece of that. Again with the questions. Where's your sense of adventure? I'll tell you what it is after you take a bite or two. You'll like it. I promise. What? No, no, it's not a person. What, you think I'm some kind of psycho or something? You know what? Don't answer that. I totally am, but even I have limits. Anyway, quit stalling and get that juicy meat in your mouth. See? It's good, right? A nice, robust flavor with an interesting little spicy aftertaste. Not everything is a trick with me. Want to know what it is now? It's a fun little critter that wanders down from the mountains or from deep within the caves into the forest sometimes. A lizard-like thing that is dangerous just to look at and usually wreaks havoc all over the place until something bigger and meaner puts it down. What you just had a taste of is a basilisk. From that reaction, I've taken that you've never eaten monster before. Well, congratulations on your first taste. Basilisk flank steak, sautéed with the juices from its own venom gland. That is damn fine eating. It'll make you healthy, make you strong. Don't get so bent out of shape. It's completely harmless. Mostly. There have been a few cases of folks getting petrified after eating one, mostly due to improper preparation during cooking, but I followed an old recipe my folks threw together, and over the years they've only had 3 accidents, so it'll probably be alright. Now, what's with that look? You seem a little surprised. What? Do you think I was just born from blood and dust or something? Of course I had a family. Well, I call them that, but it's not like we were related or anything. More like a family of circumstance than anything else. See, I guess I was something of an unwanted kid, seeing as how my actual parents ditched me, like literally threw me into a ditch from what I heard. What, did I strike you as the kind of guy who had a healthy home life? Nah, just some wailing brat on the side of the road, with no home and no name. I probably should have froze out there, but as fate would have it, not long after, a caravan rolled through. Carmine's Carnival of Curiosities, a one-of-a-kind circus brimming with 2-bit performers who couldn't hack it in the 3 rings. Mostly it was just full of strange characters migrating from place to place, drunkards, refugees, and vagabonds of all stripes, who just came and went with the seasons, sometimes coming back and oftentimes not. So I guess old Carmine, he took a liking to me. Suppose my good looks were present from birth, huh? He was a clever sort, so it didn't take too much for him to talk people into keeping me. And he took me under his wing and loved me like his very own son. Now, this caravan, it wasn't really a place for a kid, but some of the folks wanted me there all the same, so off they went, with the newly named Little Elijah in tow. Of course, things changed when I got older. I guess the novelty of having a cute little kid waddling around wore off after a while. Soon it developed into just working. Clean the stables, fetch drink, nothing like a little forced labor. And if you screwed up or took too long doing something, Then you got slapped around a little bit. Or, honestly, whenever someone felt like it. Grown men and women taking their day out on a kid for any old trivial thing you can think of. You see these scars? Some of the ones on my arms and hands are because somebody lost at poker and couldn't afford a drink that night. This one here on my cheek was from when I failed to steal a pocket watch off of some gormless onlooker, and I got beaten for stealing. And then when I got back, I got it all over again for failing to steal. Each split lip, black eye, or broken bone has a story and a lesson to tell. And as you see, I got lots of stories, and they're always ones that I listen to. Naturally, though, I learned it was better to make scars instead of take them. So whenever fists started flying, I made sure to give more than I got. Slowly, I started honing my craft, finding more and more that I really had a knack for it. And with each oozing cut and cracked bone, that delicious dark adrenaline kept coming. Eventually, fear took hold and people backed off, leaving me without a way to satisfy this new itch that grew day after day. So, I bided my time and tried to shove this hunger deep down. I waited for months until it got too much to bear, and I had to get my fix. And you know, I'm not the best at impulse control. It was a dark night, just a sliver of moon hanging in the sky. Everybody was good and drunk by then, passing out where they lie or asleep in their bunks. On that night, I used everything I had learned to cut, to carve, and bleed and maim my way through that place. They were good tricks. Many of them I still use to this day. They're a bit hard to explain, so let me just show you a little. Careful now, boy. Wouldn't want to slip. You see, right on the inside of the thigh, there's a weak point. And if you ride that all the way up to the top, just like this, you can drop a man in a few seconds. Another good spot is right on the side, below the ribs. Feel this meaty bit there? That's the liver. Imagine my fingers are blades. A quick jab right there where I'm touching will have a heavy bleed that can't be easily fixed. All of those things I learned from these people. Turning it against them was an ironic sort of thing. I wasn't unscathed, of course. Some fought back and got blades in. That wasn't so much a big deal to me. Those eventually healed over. The only part that I remember hurting was when the man who called me son eventually showed his real colors when I worked my way to him. Do you know what he called me after I took matters into my own hands? after he had failed to protect me for years. Monster, demon, evil. He might have been right. After all, I was his son. All I knew after that was that the first few breaths I took as that caravan burned to ashes around me were some of the sweetest of my life. Pleasant memories. So after that, I took to wandering. Didn't matter how long, time didn't mean much anymore. Just the empty space between jobs. A few weeks or months or seasons later, here I am, leader of my own little bandit crew. Talk about humble beginnings, right? And that brings us to you. I might have progressed past my shitty upbringing, but you are still very much in the middle of yours. This little spat between you and your family is on hold for now, seeing as how they think you're out of the picture. But like I said in the forest, each day that passes is ticking down on that borrowed time. Probably the only luxury you can't afford. I saw many similarities in our situation. That's one of the reasons I wanted to give you a hand in this little problem of yours. The only thing is, you haven't made a choice yet. You're still in the in-between phase, where you know something needs to happen, but you haven't done anything about it. What is there to think about? Seems like everyone's already made their choice, and they did it well in advance of you. Now I understand that the scope of your problem is pretty big. Taking on a whole noble family and their allies is daunting, and you wonder if you would ever see the end of it. I know it seems so far away, but follow my lead and you will see it. At its core, it would be no different than what I've already done. Assholes are assholes, no matter what finery they drape themselves in. And you need to do whatever you have to escape from the reality that they want to happen. Don't let them erase you. This ends when there's only one side left. So I need to know, right now, if you're going to accept that or not. I knew you would. And that's why I've already made some preparations. What, haven't you noticed? That your body's getting a little heavy. They should start really kicking in soon. Easy. Shh. Calm down. Calm down. I'll carry you to the bed and get you comfortable. There we go. All cozy. Ah, right. You can't really speak. So, I might have fibbed a bit about the food. It has more venom than normal in it. Only a little bit. Just enough to induce a paralysis in people for a few hours. Kinda like a really heavy sleep. I didn't want you to be awake for the next part. Spare you the trauma. Well, if I'm gonna help you, I'll need a cover story. And it pays not to have any loose ends that can unravel that. And wouldn't you know it, we have a whole camp of loose ends, ones that are shortly going to be passed out from my special handmade meal. I'll wrap things up here, and by the time you wake up, we'll be on the road and heading home. Don't give me that look. It won't be too hard for me, so don't dwell on what'll happen when you close your eyes. Shh, just drift off. I'll handle it from here. See you in a bit, little royal. Well, time to go tell the boys the bad news. Wonder how they're gonna take it. Now what's that little sound I hear? That stirring a cloth can only be one thing. Looks like my precious cargo is finally walking through their dinner and is making their way back to the land of the living. About time you did too. I was starting to get a little concerned. It's been about half a day by now, and I just wouldn't feel right about getting some rest until I made sure you didn't kick the bucket in your sleep. I know. I'm a real sweetheart, deep down past everything else. I suppose you owed an apology. Guess that much venom might have been too much for your delicate little constitution. It's really my bad. I thought you would handle it a bit better than that. But it seems like a more refined palate wasn't too ready for a more monstrous entree. Don't worry your pretty little head about it. The stiffness should wear off in a moment or two. So let's just lay there for a bit until it passes. Wouldn't want to tear a muscle, so don't try and move just yet. Use that time to get your bearings. That's it. Just sit back and relax. Now, I have some good news and some bad. The good news is that we did it. We escaped the camp and have been on the road for a while. Hooray! Why ain't you clapping, boy? Are you disrespecting all the work I put into this? Huh? You ungrateful dog. Look at your face. I'm just playing. Come on, I haven't gotten to mess with you for a while now, and I had to make up for lost time. Well, the bad news is that we aren't all that far away. I'd say we were a few dozen miles as the crow flies. I figured we both had an exciting night and could use the rest. Plus, I had to make sure you'd come out of being mildly poisoned, alright? Now, I've already apologized for that, and I am not in the mood to repeat myself. You hear me? Good. You might not see it this way at the moment, but you are just gonna have to trust that I made the right call in knocking you out when I stepped out to settle affairs with the boys. Because if you hadn't been, then there is a good chance that whatever you saw and heard that night would happen again each and every dark night alone, and you might never have felt the grip of sleep the same way ever again. This is my way of minimizing any trauma that could plague you, seeing as how you have plenty on your plate already. So be thankful that your eyes were turned away and still got to hold on to some aspect of innocence, little royal. I can't say this will always be the case for you, hazards of the job and all, but I can say that this momentary unpleasantness that you were put through, than living with the ghosts you helped make. But let's look on the bright side. Take a look around. This little camp came together pretty nicely. I mean, just look at how cozy all this is. Sure, it's not as nice as the old one, but look here. We have a ratty old tent for shelter, a nice hot fire, and I even had the foresight before we made our escape to grab some provisions, chock full of all of the bounty that nature provides. And by that I mean it's mostly lard and dried jerky. But the best thing about it, at least in my opinion, is that all of it belongs to only us. Now who out there in this big wide world could really ask for anything more? Though, despite all these fanciful woodland luxuries, I have the sneaking suspicion that these humble surroundings won't thrill you quite the same way as it does me. There was only a few things up for grabs. Well, anything that could be used in any way after the dust settled, and they aren't exactly in the best of shape. So I'm sure there'll be a fair amount of whining and carrying on, but do keep in mind that all of this would have been easier to set up and make a little bit more accommodating with the labor of 2 people working on it. But one of us decided to keep on sleeping like the dead for a bit. I'm sure you've gotten used to being spoiled back at the camp. Sorry to say that you aren't getting a lonely little cell all to yourself. Oh no, no. You are rooming with me for the rest of this little trip. So, if you want to have a say in the decor, then maybe you should learn how to quit being a little lightweight and hold your dose of monster venom like all the rest of us. Well, looks like your tongue seems to be working alright at least. Good to know. I might have a use for that soon. But, as fate would have it, I busied myself with a little cleanup while I was waiting for you to wake up. And I'm not one to leave things unfinished or unsatisfied. I gotta tell you, despite what I said, this is always my least favorite part. I don't think there's anybody alive who enjoys cleaning up after themselves and putting their toys away after a good playtime session. Much more fun to make a mess. After all the excitement, it just feels dull to be doing the busy work that comes after. I think most people can probably agree to that. I mean, you never hear a painter talk about how excited they are to clean off their brushes, do you? Whenever you really get into something, it just always feels better to have your hands firmly wrapped around what you want before you just pin it down for good. Nothing beats living in the moment. And there we go. Ain't that just beautiful? You gotta love the look and feel of a freshly stoned plate, don't you? After all, what's a meal without the finest cutlery, all set and ready to feast on the next tasty little morsel that walks on by? I might have already had my main course for the night, but I feel like the evening wouldn't be quite complete until I had a sweet little dessert. Wonder where I'll find a treat to sink my teeth into around here. Speaking of, you should be on the way to getting back to normal by now. But I have an idea to help you recover a bit quicker. It's nothing much, just a little massage and stretching you out a bit. It's the least I could do for putting you in such a state. No need to thank me. I'd prefer you to be nice and ready to fully enjoy our time together. But before we get into that top is coming off. Now you can do it yourself, or I can do it for you. My way isn't going to be very nice, so choose quick. That was quicker than I thought you'd be. Are you trying to save your clothes? Or are you just eager to get into it? I'll leave the collar. I know how bashful you get about showing yourself. So this way you'll be wearing something, and you won't have to be so embarrassed. You can stay sitting. I'll just come in behind you. Wrap my arms around. That's more like it. Well, I think I'll start by doing a little work on those shoulders. Once I'm done there, I'll start working my way all the way down. Shh. Just leave it to me. Relax. And let my hands explore a bit. I'll pull at all the little strings at just the right tune and unravel that tangled web that you have inside. Now doesn't that feel nice? It really is impressive what stresses can be found and relieved with just a little touch in the right spot. As if all it needed was a little push for the tension to melt away under skilled hands. You get pretty familiar with the body at a certain point. Learn how to read it through sight and touch and taste. And yours has such a smooth and soft feel. It reminds me a little of how a kitten's coat feels like. So tender, so sweet. I wonder then, where's the spot that'll make you purr for me? Of course, I think I already know. And when I get around to it, I'll be sure to taste as much as I want. until we've had our fill. And I'm sure you'll enjoy it too, won't you, kitten? Of course you will. It's so domestic of you. Submissive, even. That's how you've been raised to live, isn't it? Always the one following others' desires. Or maybe it's that your own ambitions are to fill in others. Every day you rolled over and showed your belly, just trying to placate the mob so they'd let you be for another day, folding at the first sign of conflict. There's a bliss in that lack of control, I suppose. Less stress on you, so it makes sense to cling so firmly onto the joys of surrender. How long has it been since you've made a choice? Lucky for you, a chance came around to remember all those lost ambitions and once again put your fate firmly back into your own hands. So, I have to wonder then, why you don't seem terribly at ease with where your decisions have led you. Could it be that in the moment when the consequences have come to roost, that you're feeling a little uncertain about where the path you took led you? Everything costs something. Whatever decisions you made or didn't make have a price to them. Sometimes it's fair, and other times it's very costly. There's no such thing as a free lunch after all. So with that in mind, what do you reckon the price was for the choice you made in the camp? You got your freedom, just as I promised. And honestly, that didn't cost much. It could have been bought with enough coin over a period of time. But that's not all you wanted, was it? You greedy little boy. You had bigger fish to fry, and that demands a bit more than coin. That's a price you pay with blades and blood, the sort of stuff that all great things are made of. It's like I told you last night. I can help you manifest all those ambitions that you thought so fleeting, but not as I was in the moment. Too many loose lips would be floating around. Word would get out about who I really was, and then more than likely I'd end up with my very own spot on the gallows. Maybe while you watch the floor drop, you could take the time to pick out what spot you would prefer to have. You see, the key to a good cover story is to have no loose ends to unravel. And thanks to you figuring out what you wanted to do and taking decisive action in pursuit of it, now there are no loose ends. No one left who could oppose or contradict the new narrative we will be making. As far as anyone knows, you're the recently liberated, wayward little noble, and I am the hapless commoner who helped you out of a jam. Two archetypes forming an unlikely bond to each other in mutual benefit. I'm sure there's tons of dime store romance novels with that plot. And for good reason. It ain't a bad cover. The flies buzzing around the noble courts will eat that shit up. And all we have to do in the meantime is keep climbing ever higher. And eventually, the view from the top will be so great that you won't even notice the bodies you stand on. You like the sound of that. I can tell by the way you shivered a bit. I wonder if it was in anticipation or fear. You want to know what that feels like? You crave that taste of victory. You're on your way to it. But let me give you a taste of what it's like. I like that look of need you have. Nothing quite like scratching that itch, huh? Oh, and would you look at this? Seems like someone's a little excited. What could you be thinking of to get you all worked up like this? You know, it's just us here. No camp, no guards. This little tent is far removed from anyone or anything that could interrupt. So, for right now, how about we forget about all that serious stuff and just enjoy the now? Watching your defenses crumble with each push. Looking back at me with the fire reflecting off those beautiful eyes. It just stirs that dark hunger in me. That ever-present need to consume. And after such a delectable feast of violence, I think capping the night off with some dessert is just what we need. And you are looking like such a good snack right now. All that's left to do is unwrap and enjoy. Wake up, boy. Well, I'm so sorry to interrupt your little beauty sleep, but take a look. There it is. Home sweet home. I think that's what I'll say when I can actually see the town. We still got a couple of minutes before we actually get there, and it does pay to practice. Aw, kitten. What's with that annoyed look in your eye? Did I go and interrupt a good dream you're having? That was a quick answer. Maybe a little too quick. Are you trying to cover something up? Well, it's not like any lie you make up will do much good. You do know that you mumble a little in your sleep, don't you? Oh, yes you do. Here I was, just driving the cart, minding my own business, when I could have sworn I heard a little voice say, faster, harder, more. Now it's anyone's guess what that was about. Maybe, and this is just a guess, it has something to do with how you've spent your last couple of nights on the road. It must be so hard on you, riding in the cart all day and riding in the tent all night. It makes sense for you to take so many daytime naps now, sleeping like a log in the cart, seeing as how your evenings aren't exactly restful. But I thought that it was made clear to you that when you make a request, it's only polite to say please. Seems as if that hasn't quite sunk in yet. How disappointing. After all we've done and how far we've come, I figured we've reached a point of mutual understanding. But as it turns out, habits are a hell of a stubborn thing to break, and even more so to make. Don't worry, we'll get there eventually. There's still a ways to go, but it looks like we'll be working on that little issue extra hard tonight, won't we? I will say, though, having you tuckered out and wrapped up in the blankets ain't without its advantages. That does wonders to make you easier to conceal. Hell, on this little road trip, we got a few sideways glances from the odd traveler we passed on the main road, mostly just giving us the once-over, and they lose all interest when they see a scarred-up country boy in his old ratty gear is all there is to find. Must think I'm coming back from selling whatever I managed to pull from the ground, and the long knives I carry deter any thoughts they might have about seeing how much I made. Oh, if only they knew what my actual cargo was. The whelp of the Baron. Royal stock is a hell of a lot more interesting than moldy turnips and animal hides. I'm sure you already know that handing you off to the right people could give a poor as dirt common man generations of wealth. Just imagine, he'd never have to worry about a bad harvest leaving his fields and home in ruins, or lay awake at night and think about what he would have to sacrifice the next day out on the farm just to maybe give his children the lives they dreamed of ever again. I'm pretty sure most folks have dreams like that, but that's usually all they are. Reality is an ice-cold shock on those wistful fantasies. Well, don't look so glum, boy. The common man might be doomed to toil and till the earth until they eventually return to it. But your dreams aren't so far away, and with a few well-executed, executions, they can definitely be made real. Keep your eye on the prize, boy, and once you're sitting pretty at the top, you can concern yourself with the plight of the peasant class, if you are so inclined. Speaking of prizes, looks like ours just came into view. Won't be long until we set foot back into your home turf. Wow, I mean, just look at it. Ain't that a sight? Tall walls made with proper brick and mortar. Same for the buildings as far as I can see. And to cap it all off, a big, sturdy steel gate, keeping all the woes of the world from your doorstep. All those houses filled up with happy little families, living their lives as best they can. Even that big one up on the hill there. This might be my first time seeing it, but it's pretty obvious to pin that place as a noble estate. I know a wealthy house when I see one. You know, I thought you'd be jumping out of your seat to be this close to home, but you seem tense. Tell me something. Does seeing those familiar walls and houses make you feel a sense of comfort and safety from all the things you've seen lurking just beyond? Or does the new insight you've got make them look an awful lot like they're more for keeping things in rather than out? Maybe now those fleeting thoughts you had back in that cell you called home are starting to make sense. A feeling that you couldn't quite put your finger on. Despite you being held in a musty jail, why do you think it wasn't as uncomfortable as you thought it would be? Take some time, and maybe the word will come to you. Familiarity. You've been in a cell long before the camp, and the only thing about your situation that has changed is the person who held your keys. You poor thing. Why does that seem to be the default for you? Doesn't that just seem unfair? Doesn't that just piss you off? Well, that's why we're here. To change the narrative a bit. To flip the script in your favor. But in order to do that, we have to set the stage a little bit, so we don't get taken out of the game too quickly. Now, I'll be the first to admit that it's been some time since I've been to the more civilized places of the realm. As you can probably tell, they don't tend to suit me too well. Too much here gets taken for fact on something as flippant as faith alone. All of it too reliant on everybody agreeing to follow the rules that get laid out. Held in bondage to the whims of your fellow man. They're all united, sure, mostly through common action and common servitude. I've always seen these kinds of places from the outside, and let me tell you, a place that draws its power and stability from the goodwill of man alone is doomed from the start. Eventually, through war or famine or simple greed, these people will start sizing each other up for funeral suits. There is just no beating human nature, boy. You've already seen the lengths your family will go to in order to retain the power and influence they wield. And what or who they're willing to trample to move it just a bit closer towards whatever goal they set for themselves. Fortunately, you and I are in a pretty good position to get a little ahead. Your family probably thinks you're gone already, so with the element of surprise, we can get the drop on them and start getting things ready. Well, Aren't you the eager beaver? Finally unlocking the cage all on your own, huh? I gotta admit, I really do enjoy this more decisive side of you. Always could appreciate a man who knows what he wants. That keeps me on my toes and very interested. I'm half tempted to pull off right here and get another taste of you. But we have some setup work to do before we descend into that lusty pleasure. Aww. Now what's that? Could it be disappointment, I see? Never knew you liked spending all that time underneath me so much. I had my suspicions and all. Who could miss how your breath became so short after a while? Right before your whole body started shaking in bliss. Maybe this'll tide you over for right now. Damn hard to break it off here. But let's look forward to it when we have something to celebrate, huh? Now focus up. We're heading on through the gates. Oh, wow. It looks impressive from the outside, but once you get past the gates, you can get the full scale of the place. Definitely the biggest town I've ever been to. This is shaping up to be a hell of a playground. Oh, how exciting. I can already see it now. Buildings burning, throngs of screaming people in the streets, and all the loot I could ever want. Psst, don't give me that. It's just wistful thinking. We got other nin to attend to. Although, in time, boy, I'll see it all happen. Now I know you're wanting to run on home and start settling the score with your family. But let's take a step back from the edge for a bit and play this smart with the cards we have so far. Believe it or not, we're in the best possible position we could be given the circumstances. It just goes to show you that in a game of strategy, an opponent's casual slip-up or blunder can prove to be a massive boon for you if you know how to use it right. I'd love to explain what I mean, but not out here. Better to tell you about it while it's already in motion. So, how about we stop on by... that tavern, right over there. And grab a drink or two first, to wash the trail dust out of our throats. Oh, and you won't be needing to cover yourself up. We aren't going to be needing to hide you anymore. So go on, show off your face as much as possible. You'll see why. For now, just follow my lead and enjoy yourself a bit. You don't come back from the dead all that often, you know. So many questions. It's better if you just leave this to me. So be a good boy. Keep your fucking mouth shut. And let me do the work and send the field. I'm glad you understand. Now get that perky ass moving. Oh, and don't forget to smile. There we go. 2 nice and frothy ales. The perfect drink to help you settle in after a long and hard trip. I tell ya, traveling really takes it out of you. It's been some time since I've slept in a proper bed, but I'm thinking the one I'll be getting in tonight will soon ruin bedrolls and cots for me forever. I'm sure you'll be breathing a sigh of relief when you sink back into your blessed silk sheets and comfy little blankets. And hey, if you do a good job, I might let you stay in them after we have our fun. Speaking of, I think it's about time we got started with the plan, huh? Hey y'all, listen up. Now, some of you might not know this yet, but today is a very special day. You might have heard that the Baron lost a son to the whims of a cruel world of cutthroats and assassins recently, and that has left a hole in this community's heart that is yet to even scar over. But by the grace of the saving maiden, that which was lost has been returned to you, one of your own, back from the bony clutches of the Reaper. The lost son has returned, and in celebration for this miracle, don't you think it's only right that the Baron buys a couple of rounds? So drink, raise your glasses, in honor of a wayward soul finally finding their way, and for a welcome home. Haven't worked a crowd like that in a while, but I'd say I didn't do too bad. I'm no public speaker, but if I learned anything growing up in that caravan, it's that it's not so hard to ply people once you feel their cups first. But I didn't do all that just to swindle a few coins from your father. That's only the extra bit. Have you figured out why I kept saying we're in a good spot to make moves? It's because we have a very powerful thing at our disposal. The narrative. Any fantasy of storming the gates and enacting bloody vengeance is all well and good, but the weapon that can better secure victory is simple misinformation. See, when your family did what they did, they neglected to close the cover on this little story they had written to explain what had happened to you. They forgot to make sure you were actually dead. And what luck that they didn't. Now that the story has left their hands, it's fallen into ours. We have the ability to set the narrative now, to sway how you and I are viewed in the public eye. And once you control perception, you can make everyone believe any damn thing you want. The best part is, even though it's an obvious lie to those who know better, they can't refute it without incriminating themselves with knowledge they would only know if they were involved in it. That's how I managed to spin a tale about what happened to you, ambushed by a group of political dissidents in opposition to the noble houses that have seemed to put their attention on your house in specific. Slaughtered your escorts and kidnapped you to pump you for information to use against your father for weeks, until, by chance, I wandered by and freed you in the dead of night. Being the upstanding citizen I obviously am, I naturally escorted you home. Days on the road had us become quite close, and we developed quite a liking for each other. With this new threat lurking about, you saw the need for more protection. You're just a lower noble, but even you can make someone your personal knight. And with the recent openings in your guard detail, it seemed like a good idea to offer my services, given the danger you find yourself in. From commoner to knight. Hell of a promotion. People are gonna eat that shit up. Like I told you before, people do love a good underdog story. Little do they know that doing that only invites the threat into their doors. Not a bad setup, huh? It's a good cover for why you were gone for so long, and it gives a reasonable explanation that will satisfy any questions whenever accidents start to happen. Plus, it gives me a reason to be right in the middle of all the action. I told a more detailed story to a couple of loudmouths up at the bar, so it should be all over town before too long. Which also means that your family will hear about it in no time, and boy, I don't think they'll be all too pleased about it. Not sure what the reaction is going to be with them, but I sure as hell don't want to risk it being violent, especially not before the cover story gets its chance to run all through the town. So we should probably wrap things up here and make ourselves scarce for a day or so. Thankfully, I managed to talk my way into finding out about this private little place that doesn't ask a lot of questions about who is staying and why. So go on and finish up that drink, and let's get a move on before we get an unpleasant visit. You ain't used to chugging, rich boy? Yeah, I wouldn't be so concerned about it. I'll teach you how to use that mouth of yours just right. Oh, that got a blush out of you. Starting to crave a little more than revenge, are we? Well then, faster we get going, faster we can scratch that itch. Come along then, kid.